Welcome to Sema Naomi podcast. My name is Sema Simone,
And I'm Dr. Gabrielle Naomi.
and we are finally here presenting ourselves on camera, online, which is, I would say, not our biggest strength.
Or natural habitat.
It's not our natural habitat. I think everybody who thinks that that's a natural habitat either have some avoidant issues or have some
Need for validation.
I mean, a little bit. Let's just say it as it is. Social media is not really.
A natural habitat for humans in general.
No, we want to live in waterfalls or in mountains or maybe move into the sea.
Move in
But
to the bottom of the sea.
yeah, but today that even costs money. So
yeah,
here we are online because that's what most people is using, and we also desire to reach a bigger audience in a way of not so much with our hands, because we have some beautiful one-on-one clients here in Tulum where we work right now and in the world.
Yeah.
But we desire to talk up. We have a lot of things to say.
Yeah, and we're ready to say them.
Yeah.
This podcast has been a long time in the making, and
A year
in the making, and we have come to a point in this year where we have done a lot of things to perfect this environment, this set, ourselves, and we've reached a point where
color schemes,
the branding, all of it, we've reached a point where I think have come to a conclusion where we're just going to be unfiltered, raw, and imperfect, and that's just going to be our brand, because the things we have to say need to be said now. So we have stepped out of our clinic for this moment to be here, to do this finally.
Yes.
And we are happy to be here.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that it is not our natural habitat and we're not in the sea.
We're not in the sea. We're close to the sea because we're in Tulum. But even being in Tulum can be, I don't know, any of you have been in Tulum before, but like, let's speak a little bit into the space of Tulum. If you try to work in Tulum or even try to step into some sort of normalcy, you will very fast get taken out, because Tulum, weirdly enough as it sounds, is kind of like a vortex of healing. So you're constantly in this confrontational process of having to deal with yourself, and when you also want to work and when you want to speak to an audience and create community, that self-awareness comes in the way constantly. And I think it's time for us to be like, okay, no more healing, no more confrontations, no more trying to correct or create something that is already here. Let's just break the pattern of Tulum
and show up as we are.
So I want to start with a little introduction, not too long, because many of you don't know us. I hope that some of you who has been in our hands know us and see this podcast, follow and support. I'm sure you will. We love you. But for those who don't know us, can you tell them a little bit about yourself and what you are? Who are you?
Yeah. So I'm Gabrielle, a doctor of Chinese medicine. I practice hands-on acupuncture and all of the therapies that come with Chinese medicine. I'm sure you know what they are: cupping, gua sha, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Herbal medicine, the whole shebang. And I have a unique perspective on human health, which I bring to the table in that practice. And my perspective just is the encompassing of truly the holistic human body and the experience of the holistic experience of what it is to be human and human health.
Yeah.
I think a lot of even holistic practitioners, naturopaths, are maybe even asking the questions, but viewing parts of the body or the body outside of its external surroundings or whatever. And my goal and my perspective, which just shines through, I think, in our clinical setting, is to truly take into consideration every aspect of the human being, every level, every depth of tissue, every cell, every organ, every family dynamic and interpersonal dynamic that the human has to bring everything into alignment and to optimize the expression of the soul within the body.
Yeah, like
And
landing the soul in the body.
and incorporating the soul with its essence within the body, and then allowing that all to flow smoothly through and out into the world.
That's beautiful said. Like understanding the biomechanics
Yeah,
and the
very,
energetics.
and on a physical level, the
Yeah.
biomechanics and energetics on a physical level. And I bring that into practice at Naomi Art of Wellness, which is our clinic
Yes.
that we hold together, and into practice with you as a
Yes.
practitioner, where we have met paths and bring our healing together to our clients. So talk a little bit about what you hold and what you bring into that space.
Yes. So I am the psychotherapist, which is important here because many of us is out here being very sick, and we make it very physical and make it about a condition or disease rather than understanding why we came to that point. And most of the times, I think we can both agree that we came to that point because we are in a society where we are suppressing our emotions and don't have the full capacity to understand what emotions actually are. So, combining that physical part of just the manifestation of emotions through your practice, and then the understanding of emotions and how they got there in my practice, kind of puts the W in the holistic, I would say.
Yeah. And I think you also do a very good job at creating that safe space and safety within the clinical
Somatic part,
setting
for sure.
to
In the
release the emotions.
for sure. In the clinical setting, but we do this together. We work with the body. I'm a body worker. And I know, and I think we both have seen that creating a safe space for somebody who have felt so unsafe for so many years, which most of us feel we are not really secure and safe in this world, and being held present for and feeling that kind of unconditional presence is something that really helps us heal.
Yeah.
So I think that's like the short of what we're doing. We are listening, we are hearing, we are taking every aspect of a human being story into consideration. We're not out here just healing pain. We're out here figuring out why humans have this pain. And
Mhm.
by that, step by step, by unfolding in their story, confronting those root causes rather than just creating more confusion and conditions and disease and making a person feel that there's something wrong with them, because there's not anything wrong with anybody.
No, there's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with anybody.
No.
Your body is responding and reacting to a pattern based on your environment and your internal environment, and communicating with you. And
Yeah.
that's why we have stepped out of our clinical setting where we are very strong to talk about this
Not completely out, but yeah.
just for in this moment. We've stepped out in this moment to talk about this with more people and to have this perspective reach more people, more practitioners, more humans in general,
For sure.
because just understanding your own body
Mm-hmm.
is empowering in a way that is actually physically and emotionally and psychologically healing to your holistic system.
For sure.
So
And yeah,
that's the importance of us being here. We want you to understand and take autonomy back over your body.
for sure. I agree. And in that case, I also, and I think we have seen a lot of a lot of people being let down by systems and institutions and doctors. And it's just important to communicate out there to people that there's literally nothing wrong with them, and there is hope, and there is ways to show up for yourself and your health. And it's not an answer or a pathway that you will get from, for example, the medical industry or a doctor, because they're not really educated in the whole setting of what it actually means to be a human being.
Yeah.
So,
and it's not an answer that you'll get externally. I
no,
think it's not an answer
not
you're
even
gonna,
from us, I think.
not from us, not from any practitioner, even the best in the world that have all the answers. It's an answer that you can only get inside
Yeah,
with the support of the right practitioners and community and assistance.
for sure. So that's basically what we're going to touch base here on this channel. We are going to talk about how to take back autonomy and power over your own body, over your own health, and also over your own life. And I think there's a lot of data and information out there right now to how to do that. There's a lot of confusion too. And I think our mission is to break it down step by step and speak into trends and healing methods and techniques. And also sometimes be a little conspiracy theorist if it's needed. But I don't think we will touch so much base on that area because I think the internet did its job after we know what. Um, so we are more here to instead of lecturing and becoming a meme or like a reel that gets viral, we are here to bring back solutions that is comprehensive and like understandable, where you can take it home and you can get that feeling of like, wow, I really felt that.
Yeah, and individual in a way
Yeah.
that you can apply it to your life and yourself
Yeah.
without harming yourself,
Yeah.
because there's a lot of things that are out there that are great to do, and we can sit here and be like, if you do this, this and this, you'll be healthy.
If we said that, don't trust us.
Never listen to us if that's what we're saying.
No.
We've been taken over. We're not real.
No. So like just note this in your notebook. If we ever give you a recipe to how to heal yourself, just call us out, because that's bullshit. Nobody can do that. And it's just not how it is.
Yeah. And if you're listening to that online and you have a bunch of reels on your For You page,
I
wherever
bought
that,
a lot of short courses of like
yeah,
how to.
stop.
That's
Just stop doing that. But also hear us out, because we will touch base on all of those things and give you the subtlety
Yeah.
within it to
Yeah.
make it individualized and understand where and when to
Yeah.
use those things. I think that's a big part of our goal here.
I think so too. I think the big part, because many of us we're so polarized, right?
Mhm.
And humans have woken up in some way, and we are in some of a transitioning to more awareness about our own existence. And in that, we have a lot of curiosity about how to get to that more that we feel the longing for.
Mhm.
But we kind of get trapped within the social media trends of how to do things, and it becomes very extreme on social media, because nowadays I saw this reel the other day with a girl that said, my period stopped when I started to become a carnivore. And she goes through her whole day of eating 10,000 eggs and 2 liters of butter, and and it's just extreme. You don't have to, or like, let's talk about the ice bath trend. Nobody really talks about how ice affects a woman when she is bleeding, and that we have 4 phases, and that biology is different with men and women. So I think I'm trying to say here, we're trying to step in the middle of this polarization and create some balance and perspective of how to not get trapped in these polarized extremes.
Yeah. And I think you touched on something really important, that another reason why we're here right now is because we are in this massive transition. We can all feel it. We feel a little unstable, a little unwell,
The world is a little unstable.
externally, it's all a little unstable. We're kind of like afraid and confused and isolated and alone in all of the things. And we feel this massive shift and transition, and it's a little bit scary.
Yeah, it is scary.
It's scary. And it's new. Like, humanity hasn't gone through this. Your internal our internal beings are being asked to show up differently.
Yeah.
Our physiology is being asked to process things differently.
Mm-hmm.
We're being asked to eat differently, and we're being asked to think differently.
Yeah.
And I think that it's so easy for us to look for new answers, but stay in the mindset
Yeah.
of being so like instant gratification, goal oriented. Oh, like my period's gone. Let me scroll through my reels and find someone whose period came back and do that thing,
Yeah.
and I will accomplish the goal.
Yeah.
And we got to take it all the way back, because it comes all the way back to the way we're thinking about our bodies and feeling within our bodies and our ability to feel that, and how we're interacting with our internal bodies, but also each other.
Yeah.
And the communities that we're forming, because
Yeah.
we have found, and this is a pattern that we're seeing in our clinical settings with all of our clients
Mm-hmm.
and our friends and the world in general. Everybody feels in this transition, everybody feels at least some sense of loneliness
Yeah.
and lack of community. And here in this alternative world in Tulum that we're living, or somewhat alternative world in Tulum that we're living,
It is
there's
a
a
little
lot of
synthetic.
yeah. But there are a lot of like these communities popping up, and like a sense of eco communities forming and coming up, and it's a response to the need for community.
Yeah.
And whether or not they work is a different topic that we will touch on in a future
For
episode.
sure.
But it is a need,
Yeah.
and it's a real need, and we
Yeah.
need to come together as a community, because we, as much as we need to take responsibility and autonomy for our own health and our own selves,
Yeah.
we also need to be together in that.
For sure. But the way we come together, and this is an interesting topic to start out with, the way we come together is by creating this authenticity and connection to health, because we cannot connect with our external if what we're being mirrored back to us is unhealthy and is avoidance and is instant gratification. So in order to get to that feeling of community and sense of belonging, we gotta feel some sort of resonance with our external, which means that most of us need to start a place where we are actually showing up as who we are. But
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people, I mean, including ourselves, it has been taking, I would say, decades to figure out who I am, and I'm not even done. But
And you've been trying to figure it out you've been actively
since I came out of
seeking.
my mom's womb, I was like, who am I and why do I feel anything? And nobody wanted to like respond back to me why I'm feeling anything. Like, okay, you go to school, I put you in an institution, you can cry all day, but you will still stay here. Like we were all kind of pushed aside by um uh, uh
The systems
this
that were in place.
system that that we were adapting to, thinking that this is the right thing to do. So I think it started before then, but like we have used a lot of decades trying to avoid ourselves and trying to avoid getting to know ourselves, trying to avoid getting to know each other. So I also understand that we're in this little pickle right now where we literally build concrete walls around ourselves and have our own house and have our own layers of tissue that isn't us but is an adaptation to this um society.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I think the first, and correct me if you're not agree, but the first way to gather a community is to have the same resonance and understand that we're all in this together. So you know, we can't build a community if like 70% of the world still believe that we got to go to school and we got to go to college and we got to have a pension and we got to provide to this community and society, and we got to step out of it completely and take that risk in order to actually see any changes. And I also think that's why we want to talk, because the more we talk to and the more that resonates with what we say, the more people is coming into this field of togetherness.
Yeah, it's a bit selfish, and we hope that,
Do you think it's selfish?
yeah, we want more people in this
Yeah, for
world
sure. I
who
mean,
resonate with
the loneliness is
freedom.
real.
Yeah,
We have like 4 dogs laying around us, but at some point
we have more dogs than friends.
we do. And at some point we just want to come together with people who desire the same things, like have this feeling of tribe, not having to, when we get kids, have to drop them off as and on an institution and let them go for 8 hours a day, or have to go through a system we don't agree with education wise, because God knows what's real and what's not real. Why did we make that curriculum of teaching rather than actually teaching humans how to be humans, how to build houses, how to make food, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
There's so much that we will touch on that as well. There's so much to talk about just in how we bring our children up.
yeah.
But I agree with you 100% that the first step is personal freedom.
Yeah.
And that personal freedom, the pathway to that personal freedom is personal health.
Yes. Preach. And that, I mean, that is a preach, because I mean, okay, let's touch base about this. I have been in that activism space of
Where
like,
you've been searching for freedom for humanity.
oh God, yeah, and this rabbit hole of conspiracy theories, and gone to the plaza where you stand on the ground and like say, "Hey, government, please treat me different or give me my freedom back." But why would they give me my freedom back? They are benefiting from me walking out there and not doing anything. So I think that when I started to understand that I cannot stand there and protest while eating soy
Protein isolate.
and seed oils, and have this disconnecting to my root and just be lost and do ayahuasca, that doesn't give me more freedom. Freedom come when I really take myself serious and take my health serious and embody what I am and make this vessel optimal for living. But how can I ask the government to give me back my freedom if I don't even give myself back the freedom to do that?
I don't think they know how to give you back your freedom. I don't think they even have a
No.
plan of action that they could take if they wanted to.
No, they established whoever they are, but this is an establishment, and we complied to it, and there's just not so much to do within that framework. You got to like step out of it and get some perspective and stop making that struggle within external, and realize that the only way we can change is, I mean, it sounds so dumb, but change ourselves. But like, just that sentence, what does that even mean? Because a lot of people say that, you know?
I think that's been being said for be the change you want to see in the world. But we are here to tell you that attaining personal freedom and taking responsibility for your personal freedom and personal health is possible,
Yeah.
is real, is very, very doable when you understand how to do it. And
Yeah.
it's pretty simple. And beyond that, it's natural. So
Yeah.
when you start to do it, your body likes it.
Yeah.
Your body's been talking to you for a very long time, asking you for this and that,
Yeah.
and this and that, and change this and do that. And you've been ignoring it and instead going to Dr. Whoever to be like, hey, my body's doing this thing. Can you
Can
fix
you
it?
fix it? Yeah.
And that's not what your body's asking for.
No.
But when it really starts to flow when you start to understand how to listen to your body, what your body's communicating, and
Yeah.
how to respond appropriately. And it's natural and it's easy and it becomes second nature because our bodies were created to be in flow. Our bodies were not created to be in pain, in struggle, in
No.
depression, in isolation, in
No.
any of these things. You weren't put on this planet to feel sick or bad.
No, but it's profitable to keep people sick. But
Yeah.
it gives you some skill sets. That's also what I want to talk a little bit about, because when you start, this is my experience. When you start to get that body awareness and start to move through those layers of yourself that you have been avoiding, you also start to connect and see the world differently. So, you know, back in the days, I didn't really see people as sick or struggling or suffering, but like we can go for a walk on the beach and sometimes I say or you say like, wow, that guy must be in a lot of pain, or wow, that woman is very unhealthy and sick, because they are. But we have normalized it so much and even come to the point of celebrating body positivity and celebrating fatness and symptoms that is visible and bad body posture as something that is human, and we need to accept that, and you are good as you are. No, it's when we start to understand that and connect to that, we also can help each other. We can call each other out. We can
support each other in healing and educate each other.
Yeah. But we're just walking like this, and
now
like,
we're like walking like this and just being like, that's good, and training ourselves to be okay with illness and celebrating it in a way that is not human.
Yeah. And it doesn't matter if it's like a skin, like nowadays it trend is, back in days it was very skinny models, and now it's excuse me, very overweight people, and both shouldn't be on the front page of any magazines. It just shouldn't be normalized that us humans are sick, and it shouldn't be celebrated with positivity that a body looks like this. No, like we are avoiding the responsibility and also avoiding each other a little bit, because instead of helping each other, we are celebrating each other in the lack of,
and lying. We're lying to each
we're
other
kind of lying.
and ourselves.
We're lying a lot.
We're lying a lot, and it's not authentic, and we can't connect from that place.
No,
it's not going to create any connection.
No, because there's a wall. I have thousands when I speak with somebody I see with so bad body posture and highly overweight. I have a lot of questions. I'm like, how are you? How did you get to this point? There is a sign saying help me, but there's non-communication in that space, and it's weird,
frowned upon deeply to ask.
Yeah, it is.
Even though that's a very human desire, I think, to ask, especially as a practitioner. If someone comes into your space, I think a lot of practitioners are scared to even ask these days because of like the political correctness of these things.
Yeah. This censorship, we got to accept so many things. And I think
that when it comes to health, we can't do it anymore. We have to really be honest with ourselves and each other.
Yeah.
And especially with ourselves.
Yeah.
And take responsibility for ourselves.
Yeah.
And if you're a practitioner out there with each other, with your clients, and be honest and solve the things and support the people and support yourself in the true, actual, innate nature of how your body was meant to feel, look, be, exist in its natural state.
Yeah.
Enough of the lies.
Yeah.
And adapting to the comfort. Yeah, it's uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable. A lot of things are uncomfortable, but in seeking comfort and keeping things neutral, we've adapted to so many things that are not comfortable anymore, to be honest.
No, and it's weird. If we just think about it, what we have accepted, and the unhealthy aspect to life that we have accepted, it's just the fact that it's normal for young people in a very young age to just drink themselves to death and party every weekend
in a place of education where they're supposed to be expanding their mind and figuring out what they want to do with their lives. And that's like, if you don't go and do that, you're really weird and you're throwing your life away. And like, what? You don't have a college education? That's so bad.
Oh, what? You don't drink? That's
so weird. Or like living in cities.
Yeah.
And we were just talking to somebody who was watching like some show about real estate in Manhattan, and like the penthouse on the top floor is worth like, I don't remember, like
$250
million, when the reality is that we have always valued land, access to land.
Yeah, you don't own the ground.
You don't own the ground when you live up there, nor is it healthy for you to live up there, nor is it like you don't have anything that you need as a human when you pay those $250 million. But we have decided
Normalize
that
it.
that's normal.
Yeah.
And there's so many things like that. So we
Yeah.
have to kind of like
There's
shift
so many.
the normal back to what is healthy,
Yeah.
what actually feels good.
Yeah.
And the easiest way to do that is to come back to feeling so
Yeah.
that we can know in ourselves what feels good
Yeah.
and not have to listen to somebody else tell us
Yeah.
what's normal
Yeah.
and how to be.
Yeah. I 100% agree. And come back to, yeah, a more healthy structure. And I think we will touch base on that a lot in this podcast,
In all realms.
in all realms, because there's so many point of views that is so normalized. But if you start to break it down and you start to use your rational mind and ask the right questions, you're like, hey, wait, what? Why is this normal? Why do we do that? Why do we build skyscrapers up and remove ourselves from the ground? Why do we wear shoes and never touch the ground? Why do we eat preservatives and synthetic food and take synthetic chemicals into our body? Like, why do we do these things? Because it's gonna take us further away from ourselves. And
Yeah.
it's just, the saddest part is, and what I think we are here to also kind of help with, is to take away this heavy burden and this loneliness that this whole constellation, and it's not our fault. I mean, we're just highly empathetic. So we're just like moving along because we want to move with our pack. But the truth is that the pack right now is not moving in the best direction. So let's try a strong individual to see if we can correct the path a little bit and try to create other systems that actually honor us and respect us and love us and want the best for us, because what's existing right now don't want the best for us.
No, we're moving to slaughter.
We're moving to slaughter.
Let's move away.
Yeah, and it's not a goal oriented path. I would say it's what we came in to do. We are in a life where there's not an A to the B, there is not a X to the Y. We come here to journey through this and learn through this and learn how to really take back responsibility over our own humanness, or else we wouldn't be here. We would be in nirvana or anywhere else, but we are here to get that mirroring and confrontation. I think
in this generation, or in all the generations that are alive right now, in this time of age for humanity, that is somewhat of the point, at least to start that journey back to humanness. And
no matter where you are in your life,
no matter where you are in your life, and
change the values.
And it's not as hard as it seems. It just takes a little bit of trust, a little bit of feeling, and a little bit of a shift of mindset. And connecting with others who have that same shift of mindset, so you don't feel crazy and alone in it. Because you're easy to feel too. And
you're speaking of experience, I think.
For sure. It's really easy to feel alone in it. And I think that our goal here on this podcast is also to not only point out the absurdities of the normal world and the absurdities of many of the things that we do, but offer really concrete, easy solutions, not in like an ABC type of way, but in like a really acknowledging and validating where we are and providing answers for how to take one step at a time out of it in a comfortable, reasonable way.
I agree.
It's so important, because there's a lot of people talking about how absurd it all is.
I mean, a lot of people know.
And we're waking up to it, and that's super important in and of itself. We need to wake up to it.
I love that. I love the craziness of humanity right now. No, it doesn't matter which field we're in, but it is
chaos.
It is chaos, and
it needs to be.
It needs to be. Sometimes you need chaos in order to have another order fall into place. I just really want the right order to fall into place, so we don't get like lied to and manipulated again to conform to another constellation that again will take us away from our
Yeah. And
our
we will
humanness.
and we will touch base on all of those other things that are options that are being presented in
For
the
sure.
in the solution realm,
Yeah.
in the tantra community and the spiritual communities and all of the other crazinesses that are
In the normal
swinging
community.
back and forward between from the mainstream to the this to the that,
Yeah.
and how we can find ourselves comfortable and satisfied and
Yes.
human in the center.
Yes. So our job is to give you and provide you a sense of belonging and give you a feeling of being whole and okay. There's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with us. We are here to experience it all, but sometimes it's also important to actually remove all the mask and the layers and come back to realness. And yeah, that's it.
That's it. That's why we're here. So in that, we hope that you hear us and that some of the things that we say resonate
Will
and
resonate.
and will resonate and will
Mhm.
continue to resonate. And whether they do or don't, we encourage you to speak to us because we want to communicate with
For
you.
sure.
We encourage you to subscribe and share and like everything that we do
If you want to.
if you want to.
You're not forced to anything, but that would be great.
Yeah, and we are here to be in community with you. So anything you want to say to us, we're here to discuss,
Yes.
describe any
Yes.
questions you have, any comments you have, any concerns you have about what we're saying.
Yeah.
If we're talking BS, let us know.
I mean, we will. That's just how it is because we're also individual human beings still on this journey of healing. We don't have all the answers, but truth is just
Inarguable.
yeah, you can't argue with truth, and I'm not saying we have the truth at all, but I'm saying we're damn willing to explore it and explore it to the bones so we don't just conform to any ideas or beliefs because doing that is just again setting yourself on a plateau and not going into the evolution of self.
Mhm.
So we're not out here conforming or encouraging any ideas or beliefs.
Yeah, no
Like
ideologies
really not.
here.
No, we're not newly found Christians. We don't believe in Jesus. We are not fan of Kundalini. We know the harms of plant medicine. We have seen the stress that this society have caused on many humans that is working 9 to 5. We are talking from an experience point of view where we are trying to find some nuances within this
Life.
vortex life.
Yeah, and
right?
create some new solutions
Yes.
with you in
Yes.
collaboration and communication.
Yes. So thank you very much for listening. Thank you for having this conversation with me.
Of course.
I
Thank
don't
you.
think that we mentioned this to our audience, but this is my partner in life, in crisis, in love, in work, in purpose, in essence, in everything.
Yeah.
So we are glued together around this purpose.
We're in it.
We're in it in some way, and there's just no turning back. We have a mission, we have a purpose. We want to bring back health into people's awareness and bodies, and we want to help people understand that health is the pathway to freedom. So if you desire to be free out there, let's look into the body first.
Yes. I agree with everything you just said.
Of course you did.
Take back responsibility for your own health and you will be free, and we will support you and help you in doing so.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.